The Monster Study, an orphan experiment that was hidden for decades. Some psychology experiments try to understand human behavior. This one tried to break it. This study will force you to see everything in a different angle. In 1939, researchers secretly used orphans as test subjects to answer a disturbing question. Can you damage a child's identity using only words? This is the Monster Study and the hidden truth about how easily your self-image can be shaped without you noticing. The Orphans and the Plan. 22 orphans, a speech clinic, and a theory. Stuttering might not be something you're born with. It might be something you're taught. The children were split into two groups. Group A, kids who spoke normally. Group B, kids who already stuttered. What happened next would stay buried for decades. What they did to the normal kids, Group A, the normal speakers, were told things like, "You're speaking wrong. You're starting to stutter. Don't talk unless you can do it perfectly." One girl, only 5 years old, went from confident to barely speaking. Another began covering her mouth when she talked. Some developed speech anxiety that followed them into adulthood. This is called identity contamination, when someone else's words become your internal narrator. Identity contamination. Think about this. You're in school. You finally gather the courage to give a speech. Your hands shake, but you push through it. You finish, and for a moment you feel proud. Then someone in the back laughs, or a group whispers, "That was terrible." You don't argue, you don't defend yourself, you start overthinking, and something inside you quietly rewrites itself. "I'm bad at speaking. I shouldn't try this again. I'm not built for this." One comment, one moment, and suddenly your identity shifts, not because of truth, but because of impact from others. That's exactly what the Monster Study did, but on purpose. What happened to the stuttering kids Group B, the children who already stuttered, were treated very differently. They were given gentle, positive reinforcement. "You're doing well. Take your time. You speak clearly." Some of them improved, not dramatically, but noticeably. It wasn't a miracle cure. It was proof of something deeper. The nervous system adapts to threat, but it also adapts to safety. The environment shapes the identity, in both positive and negative way. Real stories from the experiment. One girl later said, "I thought I was broken. I stopped raising my hand in class." Another avoided reading aloud for decades. One boy in the positive feedback group said speaking felt lighter, like someone had taken a weight off his chest. These weren't speech changes. They were identity shifts, created entirely by the feedback they received. The same thing happens today when a parent constantly criticizes, a teacher labels you, a partner mocks your efforts, a friend makes a joke that hits too deep. The Monster Study didn't just create stuttering, it created beliefs. Why it worked. The experiment worked because the human brain is a prediction machine. If someone in authority tells you, "You're flawed, you're improving, you're getting worse," your brain starts scanning for evidence to match that prediction. This is confirmation bias, and it shapes your self-image more than your actual experiences. The cover-up. The study was so unethical it was buried for decades. No publication, no public record, just silence. It resurfaced in the early 2000s, and the university eventually apologized. But the children lived with the consequences. The real question for you. The Monster Study leaves us with a question most people never ask. How much of you is actually you? How many of your fears were planted by someone else's careless moment? How many of your limits were inherited, not chosen? How many of your beliefs about yourself are just echoes of others' voices that never understood you? Here's the quiet truth the experiment reveals. Identity isn't fixed. It's shaped. And once you become aware of that, it becomes yours again. Awareness doesn't erase the past, but it stops the past from quietly steering your future. Because the moment you recognize the script you've been repeating, you're no longer trapped inside it. You're finally able to step outside, look at it, and decide what still belongs to you. And that shift, that awareness, is where real change begins. Always believe in yourself first.